It looks like we have a giant update and everything that's going to happen with this game, and all the information is going to be discussed in this video. I'm not sure how long I'm going to go, but I am glad because they actually came out with a giant post to explain everything that's been going on with the game, who, what, when, where, why, all the different things that's going to be discussed today. And this is the post I was looking for, and I didn't think we were gonna get it anytime soon. But today is the day to discuss this game, and I've been playing this from the beginning. And I'm gonna read you guys the post, and then I'm gonna share my reactions, and you guys can comment whatever you guys are thinking about the game. And this video is gonna have the release date, details on the remake, everything that's going on with their social pages, why they haven't really been responding, and with emails and stuff like that. Everything that's basically the status of this game and what's to come when it comes to Nebula Realms, if you guys still play it, and if you guys have played this game before. But now I'm going to just go ahead and read the post, and just as I mentioned, I'm going to be able to discuss it. So I didn't want to go into a public space because I thought it'd be better to remain in a personal space to have a least likely chance of crashing instead of being in a public space where people are loading into the server and having sorts of issues of being into loops and stuff like that. So I had to head here, and this is the perfect spot because this is the place that you get that's free, the closest thing that basically the starting point when you get into this game. The Harbor Studios, I would like to call it, but it's just something similar to it. But this is just the regular home that you get. So the memories are there, the vibes are there. But let's get into the post. We're going to start reading through it. So they said, Happy Tuesday. This was about an hour ago from this morning. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Just wanted to hop on here really quickly to answer some frequently asked questions. So this is going to answer everything that everyone's been wondering about the game, including me, and what's been happening with the game, what's going to happen, what's coming out soon, everything. So here's the first one. They said, as it was mentioned before, our team works on other games as well as on Nebula. Most of you probably know about Super Kickers League. This is the game that I was telling you guys about that we had as a public space. But now it's that little section that's in the Nexus that's next to the cinema or the movie theater, as someone call it. So just to continue, well, our team is also working on some other projects, so super busy every day. And they put in parentheses, minus the weekends. So emails and comments are not answered during those days. See, and I'm gonna say this is just before I get ready to read into it. I hadn't really sent them any emails, so I mean, from based on what I heard, I hadn't even heard anyone say that the emails have been answered. So I'm not sure what's happening with that. But now we're going to continue. Here's the second one. As far as today, we do not have any exact dates of our Nebula projects. We understand it has been long since the last update, and we are very thankful for your patience. As soon as we have a release date, we will inform everyone on our social media. So we're just going to continue. This is the third one. The reason why our social media profiles were very quiet is because our team didn't have a manager to look after them. And as it is mentioned above, the team behind Xylot Studios is very busy because there's a little bit of typos here. Now that our team has a CM or community manager, we will try our best to keep you up with all events, updates, changes, etc. We did not ignore you for months. We check all our comments, tweets, and responses. So if you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments. And I'm going to send you guys the post if you guys are interested. And I'll just send you guys the Facebook page, and you guys can head over there and post your comments and questions there if you like. So just to continue, any game related issues, please send us an email to support@zealotstudios.com. Despite all of this, the team is very grateful for everyone's patience and spending their time playing Nebula Realms. It is an honor, and we are working every day to bring you a game that you will enjoy with no complications. So do not worry. We did not promise a better version of Nebula, and forget about it. Have a nice Tuesday, everyone. So that's everything that they basically said from this particular video. So that's everything that we have as far as the information in regards to everything that's going on with this this game. Now, I'm just gonna start at the second one out. No, well, I'll start at the first one. So, because I don't want to just be able to go all over the place, and I just want to basically talk about Super Kickers League. I do want to try to go over there. Maybe I can risk it and bite the bullet. Let me see if I can make it over there. If it crashes, I'll have to start all over. So I'm gonna try to go over there. But Super Kickers League was that it was a sports game. It was a sports space, and I'll leave you guys the video of it at the end screen. Once the video is getting ready to wrap up, it'll pop up if you guys want to check it out and see what it was like before it became this small section of the public space of Nebula of the Nexus. It's right here next to next to the cinema. This is Super Kickers League, the other game that they worked on in the process of while creating updates for the game at the same time. Or I'll say simultaneously. They were making this game and creating this game. The same developer team, Starlight Studios, was working on this game while trying to stabilize and try to come out with updates. And just with cinema, places like the cinema, it took a long time for this to be implemented from the locomotions and everything like that. But this base was more than just this small section of the Nexus. It was just a small public space, was like a soccer field. But the mini game, when you go into it, because I don't want to get too close to it because it's going to play the music. When you go into it, it's a single player mini game that you could play, and your goal is to basically score 3 times to get the reward. See, like that UFO that was taking one of the players in, that was just one of the rewards that I revealed. It was one of the pets that you can get. The UFO, and then you get all types of different pieces of clothing to that was inspired by the Super Kickers League space or the Super Kickers League video game that you can see on the screen. So this was the pet that you can get. Now I don't know if you can still get it anymore because I haven't checked, but maybe you could still get this sort of reward. This was the last thing that you would get as far as that game. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it away because I don't want to bring any more uh, extra stuff that is probably going to end up triggering. But I'm going to try to get up out of here as a space. So that was everything that was going on. Now, me personally, just to be honest, I would have waited. I would have delayed Super Kickers League. If knowing that this could have been like a backup project, like for a future project or something like that. But knowing that the condition that this game was in with all the issues, it would have been a lot. I feel like the team would have had much of an easier task to be able to and less pressure to work on another game, a completely different project of a different game of a whole different genre that's a sports genre, and this is a social game. You're already juggling too much and taking on too much than what you can handle. So I would have did something different as far as Super Kickers League. I would have delayed it, but the whole purpose of Super Kickers League or the public space was to help people get to know the game or the other games that they work on besides Nebula Realms to see the different things that they can do as far as the talents go for this game. So they want us to work on different things as besides Nebula Realms. But this game was having so many issues, so I personally would have delayed Super Kickers League for a later date until this game was up to par and running well. But that's all as far as what I can say in reaction for that for the first one. Now I'm going to go into the second one, saying that of how they talked about there's no exact dates for the release dates of this game, as far as the remake and the PC version. So I'm guessing I will probably factor in the PC version of Nebula Realms and the Nebula Realms remake all into the same boat. We don't know when we're gonna get them at this point. But I'm glad that they finally decided to tell us some information as far as what's going on, and I'm sure they're going to probably come out with some more teasers, maybe in the near future. But while they, while I'm waiting patiently and waiting for this game to be fixed, I have plenty of other games I can play on the PlayStation and the Switch, and many other games that's coming out in the near future and throughout the rest of the year and into 2022. We're probably not going to get Nebula Realms remake sometime this year in 2021. I wouldn't expect the game to be ready this year. Now that I'm reading this post and they came out with all the information that we needed to hear, as far as the progress report and the status of this game and everything that's going on. They don't have a release date, but I'm sure we'll probably end up getting some more updates and maybe some teasers and new features that they're going to add into the game and how the public spaces are going to look. It's going to take some time, but the PC version can wait. Just like how they could have waited with Super Kickers League. The Nebula Realms remake and the base console, the base version of your game should be the priority. I think that should be the most important thing. And then once this is stabilized, then I would go on to the next version of the game or trying to expand on different platforms like the PC, for example. That's way different from consoles in regards to video games and games being run on them. You got to make sure you have a PC that can run the game. You can't just have any sort of ordinary PC. You got to make sure you can run the game. It can be, downloaded and it just runs smoothly in comparison to buying a console game and downloading it on the console. You could just play it right then and there as long as you own that said console or platform with Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever it is, whatever game that it is. That's the whole situation with that. So I don't think the Nebula Realms remake or the PC version is going to be ready this year. So I'm not going to. That lowers my expectations now. Now that they said what they said as far as not having a release date for the new versions of Nebula Realms. Now I'm going to move on to the last thing about their social media pages. I was really surprised to hear this because it seems like that was the whole lack of their posts because they didn't have anyone to really control it because they were so busy working on the game. Now I understand. But now that they have all this communication and the ability to communicate with us and communicate with the supporters and everyone that's asking questions about this game, and you guys can already head over there, just like I mentioned. You guys can head over there to the post and head over to the Facebook page to post your questions if you have them, and see if you guys can get some answers in regards to the game. But I think this whole giant post answers everything. We got our release date, or basically the whole release date details. We got everything about the game and what's been going on with their social media pages, the lack of communication, the other games that they're working on. I think they're just doing too much, and I think that was the big case of them not answering and not being able to communicate properly because they were trying to take on so much working on the game they couldn't even have the time to type out a post to tell us what's happening in regards to the game. Am I the only one in here? Yeah, I am. I can't believe that. I'm the only one in the Nexus. This is my own space. So may as well go here. But this is the hangout spot. But that's everything that's been going on with the game as far as the details with the social media. But now that everything's been brought to light today, I'm just going to continue to move on to other games. And then if they could come out with some more updates and if anything changes, I'll let you guys know and come out with a different video. But I'm curious to see what you guys think now that we know that this game is probably not going to be ready this year. We got information and all our questions answered with the social media, all the games they've been working on, and other projects behind the scenes that people don't even know about. Super Kickers League, for example. But it's a completely different game, and I don't know if it's been getting recent updates because I didn't buy the Super Kickers League. It's a Switch game, and I don't know what. I think it's also available on another platform, but I don't know if it's gotten any sort of recent updates that they also been working on as far as Super Kickers League goes. But um, I'm just I'm grateful that they actually finally came out to tell us everything that's been going on. So, I mean, that's all I can really say. I'm happy with that. And we got all the questions that I was looking for got answered. Details of what's going on with the remake. Are we going to expect it anytime soon? There's no release date. Information about communication, being big on communication. And now that they're being a little bit more consistent with story posts, making story posts, and coming out with posts to keep us in the light. This is what I wanted to see. So I'm all for them just working on the game and making sure it's running well and fixing the things that they need to fix and make sure it's running well. Now they could just take their time with the game and not just keep us updated in regards to what's going on with the game, if any changes are being made and things like that. But this is the post that I was looking for, and I hope this informs everyone else out there so you guys are stay up to date. with the game. So they're still going to be working on the remake. At least it was just like they said at the last part. We did not promise a better version. We did not promise a better version of Nebula and didn't forget about it. So they're still actively working on it at least. So that's all good news to hear. And I'm just glad that they managed to answer everything that we needed to hear. And this is the post for the perfect communication to let us know what's going on instead of just having people constantly ask, oh, what happened to the remake? Are they still working on it? What's going on with the game? Why isn't there any communication? And now we're going to get all that. But I'll just say, admittedly, it took quite some time for them to get to this point. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. So that's everything and all our details for today. So I'll let you guys know if there's any sort of changes or any dates that they end up making or any sort of new teasers and whatever. But I guess that'll be it. We'll just have to wait patiently. So we'll probably won't see that remake till maybe in 2022.